What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here with my MMA news, and it's a pretty exciting time of the year if you are a fight fan, especially for the sport of mixed martial arts, especially the UFC. This time of the year, it's going to be starting up Dana White's Contender Series, a great time to really get a look at the future of the UFC. And today's guest will be fighting on the Contender Series. I am pleased today to be joined by Francis Marshall, who will be fighting Connor Matthews on August 2nd. Francis, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. So this is a huge opportunity for you, and we've been doing interviews for a little while. I remember back when you fought at, it was back in the Maverick promotion, right? This is kind of right before kind of COVID all happened and everything. And the big thing was you were this young kid making your pro debut, and keep an eye on you because you were going to be in the UFC one day. That's what all the promoters were saying for that. Well, now fast forward 3 years, here we are. You're 23 years old, and this great opportunity. Just how excited are you that all this hard work you've been putting in has been paying off, and that you're in this fantastic spot in your career right now?
It's pretty exciting for me. I mean, it's like kind of I wouldn't say a dream come true yet, but it's like kind of seeing everything fall into place. All the years of hard work and fighting and whatnot, all the hours spent in the gym. It's finally kind of being able to see it come into play.
So let's talk about how you found out about this opportunity. It'd be pretty interesting. Does the UFC kind of call you up and be like, hey, we've been following you. Do you want to come out and try this out? Because the matchmakers for the UFC, especially the last couple of years for this Dana White's Contender Series, has been finding literally the best talent out there. And Dana White's been signing a lot of people over the last maybe 2 or 3 years because of just how good the talent has been. So did they reach out to you for it?
They actually sent an email to Kurt with the contract, and then told Kurt, was like, "Oh, check your email, whatever." And then he called me up and he forwarded it to me, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's crazy!" Like, I had no idea it was coming at the time, so it was pretty exciting news.
So like when you found out, what was kind of like the reaction? Like, did you get like, run and tell your parents, tell all your friends about it? What was the reaction?
I guess a little bit. I told my dad. I wasn't like I was coming off of an injury at the time too, so it was kind of like, all right, I want to make sure I get myself prepared, find out when it is, the exact date and stuff like that, and just get to work.
So now, like I said before, right, 23 years old, young in the career, you're 5-0 right now as a pro. The thing is, though, while you may be young and the record's, only 5 fights on it, you've been doing this for a long time. So just kind of tell everybody kind of how you got started in the sport and all the years and dedication that you've been putting in, because you're definitely a lot wiser beyond your years here.
So I started training back in, I want to say 2000, December of 2012. Maybe I was like 13 years old, just to get a little more active in the wintertime and get doing something besides I wasn't really doing much. And then I just started with jujitsu, and then one thing turned into another. We started going down to Atlantic City, watched the guys fight from the gym, and then I kind of got into it a little more. And then eventually I was just like, oh, I want to fight. Like, this is what I want to do. And then one thing fell into another.
And the other thing too that definitely has to be beneficial to you, I would think, is having Kurt Pellegrino in your corner there. Obviously, he's a former UFC fighter, but he knew that you had a lot of potential, and he kind of, at a young age, had you traveling to fight. Like you mentioned before, right? You were going to Atlantic City to see guys. Well, Atlantic City for you in central New Jersey is close by. He has you going first into Pennsylvania. I know it's just a state over, but still got to get in the car, drive down to an event. Flying out to Louisiana, he had connections out there at a young age, getting on a plane, flying out to Louisiana just to get fights in. How did that experience kind of help you too for things like this, where now, you're not just coming from a regional scene fighting in the backyard of flying out to Vegas and on the big stage. You've kind of had this experience of going out and traveling.
I think it helped out a lot. I mean, it gave me a perspective of how traveling and cutting weight and then fighting while you're on the road and not like comfortable in your own home. You don't have like a kitchen. You can make your meals. You don't have like a set place you're going to cut weight. You got to find out where you're going and whatever. And then just the whole flying and the whole traveling experience is something else rather than fighting regionally or fighting locally.
And now let's talk a little bit about Kurt and the other guys in the gym. I know we kind of briefly gave them a shout out there, but great guys have around you. Just talk about them and how beneficial they've been to you.
They've been really beneficial, especially growing up in the gym as a kid. I mean, just being able to train with all the pro fighters that he had, and just really, I mean, it's not like they took it light on me. They beat me up from when I was a little kid, and I think it helped me get to where I was today. So they definitely helped me out a lot.
So now let's kind of get into the reason why we're here, right? This upcoming fight, August 2nd. You're in training camp right now, obviously. It's kind of starting to get wrapped up at the time of recording this. I know fight night is, coming up really quick here, actually. So just talk about your camp and how it's been going so far.
It's been going pretty good. I mean, we probably started picking it up about 6 weeks ago, 6, 7 weeks ago. That's when it really started the intensity and stuff. But even before that, I'm still training, in the gym, still working on things. And then just the last 6, 7 weeks have been super strict, super down, and just all around the intensity wise has picked up. And it's been going really well so far.
And now let's talk about your opponent. What have you seen out of him so far? I'm sure you've been obviously scouting him as you get ready to go here.
Yeah, so he's obviously pretty good. I mean, he's 5-0 himself with 5 finishes, which isn't easy to do. So he's obviously got some talent, and I think he's more of a stand-up guy, but he does have a lot of submission wins. So he's definitely dangerous in multiple areas, but I think I would hold an advantage in the wrestling or jiu-jitsu department.
So it's interesting with Dana White's Contender Series. If there's anybody that's watching this but that might not be too familiar with the show, obviously how it works, right? Fights go on. Dana White sits there right in the front row, watches. He goes back to his room for just a brief minute, and he picks who he will sign to a contract. Now, in years past, it was pretty much you needed to get a finish almost, unless you were in the main event. If you didn't get a finish, you were kind of, in that tough spot where he wasn't going to sign you. Now, maybe the last year or two, like I said earlier, a lot of better fighters have been on the Contender Series. He's been a little more lenient with it. However, still there is that notion there that if you get a finish, it kind of just leads right to a contract. So is there any pressure for you when you obviously follow this and hear things like that? Like, do you need to go out there and get a finish? Is there pressure for that?
I don't feel pressure for that at all. I mean, I go into every fight looking at it like I want to finish this fight. I never want to win a decision, one, because it sounds exciting, and two, you don't know what the judges are thinking. So I go into every fight, I want to get the finish, but I'm not going to put more pressure on myself to get the finish to worry about the contract. I'm going to worry about the fight first and winning the fight by any means necessary. And then afterwards, we'll worry about a contract.
So I remember back in the Maverick fight there, right, when you got a win, it was a submission win. The guy, I believe, was supposed to be superior to you on the ground at the time, and you were able to go out there and get a rear naked choke. Well, I'm looking at your record right before we came on air here, and I saw now it's 4 wins by rear naked choke. So what is it about that choke that you're just so good at getting it locked in there?
It's just being able to get the guys down and control them, and then once they slip up and make a mistake or give me their back, it's I feel very confident when I'm on the back, or then that choke just finds itself. It's able to sink in.
Well, it seems like you have a pretty good lock on it there, too, to get 4 wins like that. Hopefully another one coming here for you so you get a contract. Last thing here for you before we kind of wrap things up. Just talk about, I know we opened up by talking about what the opportunity means to you, but if you are to get a win, you are to get picked here, obviously a lot of doors are open for you. You get to be in the sport's biggest promotion. Just what would it mean to you after 10 years of being in the gym and training and working your ass off such a long period of time to get this UFC contract?
It would mean the world to me. I mean, this is what I've been aiming for, this is what I've been training for, and this has been one of my top goals since I was a kid. So 9 years in the making, just training and looking forward to getting a UFC contract, fighting the UFC, and then from there setting higher and better goals. So right now it would mean probably the world. I'd be on cloud 9. So
I bet, man. It's going to be fun to watch you fight here. Really looking forward to it. It's a great opportunity. Good luck with everything. Last thing before you head out today now, go ahead, plug your social media so everybody knows where to follow you at. You have anybody that you have to give a shout out to that you haven't done so yet, feel free to do so. Floor is yours. Take it away.
So you can find me on Instagram at FrancisMarshall1. And I just want to thank all my sponsors that have been with me. I know it's a bunch of names, so I don't want to miss anyone and leave anyone out. So just want to thank all of them who've helped support me along the way so far. And tune in August 2nd.
All right, Francis, thanks so much for all the time here. Again, man, really appreciate it. Best of luck again for everybody out there. Francis will be fighting Connor Matthews on Dana White's Contender Series on August 2nd. That is the second week of the show. So obviously, like I said in the beginning there when I opened it up, great time of the year for all of us MMA fans out there. A lot of exciting Tuesday night fights coming up here just to add to the busy schedule that we have. So anyway, thanks so much, everybody, for watching today's interview. Really appreciate it. If you like the interview, please go to the bottom. them, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And just as a reminder, make sure you're keeping your tabs on MyMMANews.com. We have great content that comes out there literally 7 days of the week, so make sure you guys are checking that out every single day. We'll see you later, everybody.